We're talking about Picard season 3 and why it might be the last season? Question mark, period, question mark, colon, space.
Yeah.
And I forgot what I was even talking about.
Why it is the last season, but
Maybe
and
not.
why are fans shocked?
I
Right.
don't know. I mean, listen, if you told me 8 years ago, hey, listen, they're going to do Star Trek Picard with Patrick Stewart and it's going to get 3 seasons, I would have said, you're a liar. That's not possible. The guy is in his 90s.
He's not that old, but yeah.
Oh, whatever. How old is he?
He's 81.
He looks so old to me sometimes.
I know. I mean, it is old. I mean, trust me. Once you hit 80, it's, you know.
I mean, you compare him to William Shatner, you're like, wow. They're like, William Shatner's older than Patrick Stewart somehow?
Isn't that crazy? Well, let me double check. I think it said he was 81 and something else.
Whatever. If you told me 8 years ago we're going to get 3 Star Trek Picard seasons with Patrick Stewart, I would have called you nuts. Not 81. Just because the odds of it happening were slim, but also the odds of this very, very old man doing 3 seasons of a Star Trek show is just not believable to me.
I got to tell you, it just shocked me right now. I just opened up a picture. I typed in Patrick Stewart and opened it up, and the first thing I see is him kissing Magneto on the mouth. Yeah. I'm like, whoa, hold on. It's just, you think of these guys as their characters, and I'm like, hold on a sec.
Oh no, they're like best friends in real life. They're like bros.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So, and of course, yeah. I mean, So what's going on here? Basically, a bunch of news stories just come out and said, "Hey, fans, why are you so surprised that Picard's ending after season 3?" And I thought it was interesting because the plan has been 3 seasons, right? Like that was the plan from the beginning, I guess, was to go 3 seasons. They thought about it. They go, well, you can either go 1, and if it does well, you got to do another one, which means if you do 1, you got to do 3.
Right.
Or you can go 5, or you can go 7, or you can do it forever. And so they were asking themselves, well, we got an 80-year-old man here.
Yeah, shoot everything. Shoot it all.
They're like, well, we'll keep doing it as long as he wants to do it. But 3 is like probably like where we should play. So the reality is that everybody keeps saying, well, you're only getting 3 seasons of Picard. But the reality is, if you read further into the article, it says they'll keep doing it as long as Patrick Stewart wants to do it. Right now, that's 3 seasons. So yes, they are planning for 3 seasons. But let me tell you something. If they finish season 3 and before it airs, and they're like, and Patrick Stewart's like, hey, let's keep going, they're going to do 5. And they just told you. So it's not going to be 4 seasons, bro. This is the other interesting thing. They just told you their plan. 3, 5, 7, as many as they can, right?
At what point is he going to be the narrator, though? Like, that's going to happen soon, right?
Yeah. I mean, you're going to see less and less of him, I think.
He's got to start being like he's got to be like the narrator. He's got to be, I don't know. Matt Cadis, our buddy at Salt and Nerd, said it perfectly. It should have been Picard when they gave him a new body. It should have been a younger body with a new actor,
with a different actor,
and they could have had him, almost all the Iron Man, Tony Stark, sort of monologuing, inside this guy's head.
It would have been weird, though, and I think. I don't know if Patrick Stewart would be down for that. I don't think he's doing it for the character. I think he's doing this for himself. When he decided to come back to do Picard, he goes, the only way I'm going to do it is if it's totally different than the way I did him before. So it's about him. Like, he's not doing it for Star Trek. He's not doing it for the fans. He's doing it because he loves to act and he wants to be out there. So I don't think he would just do the voice of Picard. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think he's got to be involved. I mean, he's in the writing room. He's involved with everything happening. And I think they're going to go 3 seasons. And if he's still enjoying it, they might go more. So I'm not saying 3 seasons is as far as it's going to go. I think it could go further, but we'll have to see whether or not he wants to do it. And we'll probably find that out when season 3 launches. We'll hear, okay, that's it. We're definitely done.
Right.
Or guess what, guys? Paramount Plus wants to have as much Star Trek as possible. Let's keep this Picard ball rolling. Yeah. I mean, what happens if like Captain, what happens if Captain, what's his name? Rios. It ends up being this really fantastic character that we just, do we end up doing a spinoff?
Well, he would, for me, he was the only really good character in the first season. I didn't like most of the characters at all, but I liked his character a lot.
I liked him, and I liked Jerry Ryan.
Oh, sorry, Jerry Ryan. For me, Jerry Ryan's a given. I always like Jerry Ryan.
Yeah,
but out of the new characters, he was the only new character I liked, and I love the idea of all of his holograms running the ship. That was so cool to me.
That was cool. I kind of also liked Elnor.
I felt like he was like, that character belongs in a completely different show. I don't
like a Star Wars show.
Yes. Oh my God. It gets serious when I gotta put the camera back on. Elnor should have been a Jedi.
It's because he looks like that. Yeah. No,
or a Lord of the Rings character.
No, he looks like a Jedi. That's the thing, is he actually looks like one of the Jedi characters. We should pull it up. It's like Osaka. I can't remember which character it is, but he does. He looks like a Jedi. But I do like his character. I like the fact that he's so naive, that he was basically raised in a society that he shouldn't have been, right?
Yeah, I don't like I didn't know that we even needed more lore on. So give me more lore on the Romulans, sure, but this was so left field. It didn't really add up for me.
Interesting. I mean, I liked that, but I got to tell you, I liked that there was something new that still lined up with character and hope and doing the right thing. There's just not enough of that in Star Trek right now. And that character embodies all those things. Sacrifice, the things that we enjoy in characters. I feel like the character of Elnor has those things, right? He was loyal to Jean-Luc Picard no matter what.
Right. Yeah.
I like that about him. I don't like the Alison Pill character. It doesn't help that she murdered somebody.
In the actor, it doesn't help also that the actress bothers me. The way she talks, they're oh, yeah. I don't know. I just don't like the actress. I don't like the way she acts. And then, she got away with murder, and no one even cared. And it was
no one did anything.
It was someone's it was their best. It was someone's best friend. They've known him for years, and she just straight up murders someone.
That was pretty great.
Oh, I know you're having a hard day. No big deal. What? How is she allowed to roam the ship? Oh my God, I can't go back to that again. We can't keep talking.
Yeah. That was tough. And the Raffi character, I think there's potential there.
There's potential, but they really made a lot of mistakes with that character in season 1.
They did. They made a lot of mistakes, but she's got an interesting backstory. She's an alcoholic. I mean, there are things there that are kind of interesting.
She's of substance abuse, not alcoholic. Just something else, some kind of drug.
Oh, wasn't alcohol?
No, it was some kind of drug. It was something that came out of a vape pen. That's what it was.
Oh God. Okay.
But she's like a bad mom, but she's not a bad mom. I don't know. There's some things that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like the Soji character a little bit, but I like her a lot better when she's attached to the Narek character, who is somewhat fallen in love with her as the Romulan bad guy. He's got feelings for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
the Romulan bad guy was actually pretty good.
He was actually pretty good.
There was a little bit of a Game of Thrones thing going on though with him and his sister, right? I didn't like that. That was a little too much implication there.
Yeah, and even though his sister was actually a pretty good actress through it and played a pretty terrifying Romulan person, character, she looked like she just wanted to kill everyone. So there are elements of this that are interesting. The story, of course, was terrible. We got our member berries. So going into season 2, we get Q, we get more member berries. We get to, I know a lot of people are like, Picard's garbage. There's no point. But I'm actually intrigued by a lot of things that are coming. And there's probably a lot more forgiveness in my heart, especially when it comes to a lot of the old characters that I want to continue to see what's going to happen with them.
Okay.
How about you?
Yeah. Look, I mean, it's still even if there's lots of parts of Picard season 1 I didn't like, I still had a good time, and I still want to see the future of Star Trek, even if the future of Star Trek, like what's happening past TNG and Voyager and Enterprise, even if I don't really like the changes, I want to continue seeing that universe unfold and seeing the characters unfold and see what's going to happen. That's why it was so hard to get behind Discovery, because Discovery took place in the past and then it didn't. And I have no connection to it. I have no connection to the characters. I have no connection to the story. So I have connection to characters here. I have connection to the story here. Seeing what happened to characters after, their big runs on Voyager or whatever. Yes, that's why I'm going to keep watching it, because it's a Star Trek show telling the Star Trek story, even if I don't necessarily like all the directions they're going or the characters. I'm still going to watch because I do love Star Trek. Even if I don't like necessarily this particular Star Trek, this is still continuing that universe forward.
Right. That makes sense. Well, I hope we can get more. I mean, I got some forgiveness in my heart, because the way I look at it is, if for some reason this is bad and they just mess up things, there's time in the future of Star Trek that they can get it right again, and I have that hope. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to completely throw the baby out with the bathwater, because Star Trek can get better again. And I'm really hoping Strange New Worlds does that.
Yeah, no, that's not yet. So Strange New Worlds, even though it's not pushing the story forward, which for me is a big deal. I need that to happen. But even though it's not, if you go back to a Star Trek format and you develop classic science fiction stories wrapped in the Star Trek universe, then sign me up. If you go back to a point where you're trying to tell this overarching 2-season plot about characters that I don't care about in the first place in the past, you're going to lose me a second time.
Got it.
All right.
Totally agree.
Moving on.